And it has not been a month since I've last seen you. There we go. We're getting somewhere. School is finally done for the semester. The semester is finally over. We have our winter break. School doesn't start up until the 27th of January. We're working on our mental health. We're working on our body and making sure we're nice and healthy. Or at least we're doing our best to, you know. We're here to address the rumors of Percy Jackson becoming a movie. There we go. Now, if you're a huge Percy Jackson fan, you know the history of Rick Riordan and the movies. The whole fandom has completely, we don't even think of the movies anymore when we think of Percy Jackson. Now we do have the musical, The Lightning Thief, which is very good. I love the music, I love the story and how much they kept in from the books. And overall, we as a fandom are more accepting of this than we are of that. We don't like that, we love this. Do you get where I'm going? I myself have done every single possible quiz. I've read most of the books. I haven't read the most recent one for the Trials of Apollo. We'll get there. I'm just broke right now and don't have the money to go buy it. We'll get there. I myself have already taken quite a few film classes, the one that I have liked the most being screenwriting. And so here is, as a screenwriter, what I hope that should this happen, should Disney agree and welcome in our lovely fandom, this is what I would hope would happen. Of course, it's all dependent on the fact of whether they're going to approach it series-wise or movie-wise. In terms of movies, that's a different story. I'll touch base on that a little bit later, but we're gonna start with doing a series. My Google Home came!
Welcome to Google Home. To get started, download the Google Home app on a phone or tablet.
I totally got distracted. So there are 5 books within the first Percy Jackson series, Percy Jackson and the Olympians. The Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and The Last Olympian. In terms of how that would be split up, the books themselves already have enough of a length where like you can get to a certain point and go, all right, here is where there could be a break. Here is where we could go into a different episode. So, you know, we start off with Percy, we're introducing him as a character, we're introducing the world of what he is. We meet Grover, we meet Chiron, we meet Mrs. Jackson and Percy Jackson and Annabeth, Mr. D, etc., etc. So that in itself would be like a whole first episode. If you take the main goal of each book, you can make it into a series. Book 1, series like season 1. Book 2, season 2. Book 3, season 3, etc., etc. So for book 1, for example, the whole point of book 1 is returning the lightning bolt as well as Percy trying to save his mom, right? As fans, we want to see our books, our worlds, our stories come to life. We don't want to see parts considered not important or things cut out because there just wasn't enough time. With a series-oriented method of writing out Percy Jackson, you would have all of that information. Now, if you were to do it from the movie side of things, that's where things might get a little bit more complicated. Typically, movies aren't more than an hour, occasionally 2 hours. Rarely do you get any movie that exceeds that amount. The exception being, in my mind, is Endgame. But that's like an exception to the rule. They're an exception because they're a really big deal movie franchise that can do whatever they want, essentially. It's the last movie with all of these actors involved, so they're gonna make it 3 hours. However, if we're trying to just get us started in terms of getting a movie or anything really better than what we already had, we don't even talk about that over there, then it's probably gonna have to be a little more than an hour, give or take, because producers and directors are gonna be like, we don't know how it's gonna be reacted to, so we're not gonna put all our effort into it yet. You know, of course, being the fans that we are, if they make a decent movie, of course we're gonna latch onto it and be like, give us more, please. We have been waiting for this forever. We don't even talk about that over there. Go away, nobody likes you. However, if they decide to use the movie format, there is the possibility of a lot of stuff being cut out or not even being mentioned when it comes to that. They're probably also going to approach it as 1 book equals 1 movie. And so if we have 5 books from Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and then we have another, 5 for the Heroes of Olympus, and then we have another 5 possibly coming from the Trials of Apollo, the possibilities are endless right there as well. You also have the crossover stuff with, you know, Kane Chronicles or Magnus Chase. You could like have those worlds connect in a way that we can visually interpret. Film is an art. Film is so cool if it's done right is the problem. The chances of the effects being high top are kind of slim, being it a new thing that's coming out into Disney Plus or Disney in general. So my expectations for the first of either series or movie of Percy Jackson is cheesy effects. Although I will give it the benefit of the doubt because there are a lot of nice editing programs that can make it look really authentic and really high quality, such as After Effects, which I personally use and personally think is a great option as well. Aside from the fact of writing the story out and making sure we get what we want in terms of the storyline and put into the visual representation of our favorite books, there's the casting problem. Now obviously with the shunned thing in the back corner, the casting for that was more or less not very good. For starters, the character Percy Jackson at the time of The Lightning Thief should have been 12 years old. Instead, we were given a 17-year-old, along with his other 17, 16-year-old friends. So in terms of Disney taking it under its wing, and Disney having access to a lot of children actors, we may be able to see 12-year-olds who are actually able to do the characters justice, you know? They learn their character, they develop them as they grow old. And then as a cast, you know, they become a family. And so the bonds between all the characters grows as well because they're best friends with the actress who plays Talia, or the actress who plays Annabeth, or the actress who plays Clarice. And then we can also push for that representation, that diversity as well. Disney's been pretty good with representation in terms of people of color and different ethnicities. So it is my hope that with Percy Jackson in that world, which does have a lot of different personalities, has a lot of different backgrounds, has a lot of different cultures mixed into one giant world, that, you know, they'll be able to find the people who can represent those of the minority groupings. I could go on and list all the different ethnicities, etc., forever, but the main point being that we would like to see everyone included, you know? And that includes the LGBT representation that the books have begun to offer. Disney is starting to lean towards representing people of the LGBT community more, but they haven't really full-heartedly been like, oh, you're gay now, and you're gay now, and you're gay now, and we don't give a you think. They're still kind of holding back a bit in terms of that aspect. I think it's more that they're trying to be subtle about it instead of like throwing it in everyone's face like, ta-da, here are the queers, enjoy. Which is fine, honestly. Having that slow cooperation eased into like what they're trying to put out there. However, if Disney tries to change the way those characters are, or how those characters interact with others, or, you know, tries to make them toned down in any way, shape, or form, I don't know if I'm speaking for the whole fandom, but I know that if they try to do that, I'm suing. I'm gonna write Rick a letter and be like, hey, so, what happened to these characters? I was pretty sure that you mentioned that he was gay, or that, you know, he had feelings for so-and-so, so why is that not being portrayed at all? But I'm honestly looking forward to having that cast dynamic like Harry Potter had, you know? Harry Potter, all of those kids grew up together making this world and being a part of it. I mean, as an actor, that's something I would most definitely want as well. But from a viewer's perspective, I also enjoy the fact that they're not only friends for the sake of the screen, but they're actually a family offset as well. Rick knows what he's doing. Rick knows what he wants to propose and knows what he wants put out there for his audience. He knows what we want. He knows what we are trying to achieve. I'm a 19-year-old college student, almost 20, who is still reading these series, who has gone back to read my favorite series over and over and over again, because this universe that Rick has created has given me a home outside of the real world. It's like, how do I describe it? You guys probably understand if you're a Percy Jackson fan, if you've read the stories, you know what it's like to be so attached to these characters, so attached to the universe, that having it destroyed, like with that abomination over there, it's kind of heartbreaking in a sense. Because you're looking at it and going, that's not the world I know. That's not the universe that was given to me. It's a fake. It's essentially a facade of what it could have been, but it's not. I do have high hopes for Disney though. Hopefully if they do accept and they decide to turn this into a cinematic piece, that they will do it justice. All right, that is all I have for you guys for today. Keep on pushing for getting Disney to make this happen. As long as it is something that embodies the Percy Jackson universe, I'm okay with it. Let's be real. I'm okay with anything as long as it's correct and done nicely. If you liked what you just saw, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And if you want to hear about when my next video is up, go ahead and ring the bell button as well, so that you can get notified when the next video is up and running. So that is all I will have for you guys today, but in the meantime, go ahead and enjoy the internet.